reach the top somehow.
Yes, my Straight Dog family, whenever you hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk. And time for me to say greetings to the entire world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we do reach and communicate with you all around the globe. But we're coming to you from a beautiful federation of two islands with one lovely paradise called St. Kitts and Nevis. So I'm duty bound to say good night, a very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis and to the entire Caribbean region. I must say greetings again to all in the Kittitian division and Caribbean diaspora. I know that some of you are in Africa. There's some of you in Europe. And there are a whole lot of you in Asia, and of course a whole lot of you, I was going to say, in North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I'm at liberty to say good morning. I'm equally at liberty to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And for those of you who may be joining me for the first time, I say a very special welcome to you, and trust and hope it won't be your last time. Someone perhaps may have shared the link with you. For those who continue to share the link, I say thank you, and please continue to do so, because whenever you do, we get first-timers, and I want to inform you first-timers in particular that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underlying free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise the level of national, regional, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I always hasten to pledge that I will remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. As I'm always reminded by or of the words of a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. It goes something like this, an excerpt, and I'm always guided by this excerpt, which goes like this. We are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we may all know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, on that basis, I can assure you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. Never. We never try to make it more exciting by omission or by exaggeration. We're not about sensationalism, trust me. We're not about creating or exaggerating, especially when it comes or if we have to do that at the expense of the accuracy. Because we lean on the facts, as it's my bounden duty to at all times present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, accountability, wherever you are in this globe, because we are joined together with people all around the Federation. We are joined together with all, many of you in the diaspora all around the world. And some we know, some we have met, some we will never ever meet. Physically, that is. Many of you we meet spiritually. But I want to assure you that we entertain all views because we are different people. So we entertain what I call a diversity of views because we are different people. So we'll entertain, like I said, different views. But I don't want you to get, as we say, antsy. Some people get antsy when they don't have it their way. And then we start to become disagreeable. And that will disappoint me. So let's, in the meanwhile, thank Almighty God for blessing or helping us to understand how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So let's hope and pray that one day we will all sing together from this same hymn sheet. We all sing his praise together, I should say. So welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link. As I bring first-timers, please continue to do so. I must always remind you that Straight Talk is a participative program as well. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. Some of you like what I call the cloak of anonymity as well. So we give you access via our email platform. That email address is also on your screens. Some of you who have the access to Alexa, we always also heard on Alexa, and you know, if you have Alexa, all you have to say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. We continue to thank the owner for giving us access at a modest cost. But my Straight Talk family, some of you as well, as we say, costs, have made donations to support our efforts here on Straight Talk. For that I say a big thank you. I must also reassure you that no matter what your contribution is, what the size of your contribution is, we are grateful. Because it helps us to continue this important service. Yes, a public service. And others who may wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screen to access the payment form. Now, some meet me and are concerned about the confidentiality of that form. If you scan that code, just scan the code, and it takes you about just under a minute, and it's confidential. I don't even see it myself. I don't know what's the situation, but my technical man of business encourages me to keep it going. So thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And there's a special welcome I must give at all times to the Straight Talk Junior Brigade. Young Dwayne, Jasmine, Tristan, Shama, Kevin, Young Wu, Travis Travon, Jamal, and Elizabeth. Of course, my grandson Neymar. I'll be in trouble if I don't hail him. And his good friend Soraya. I haven't seen Soraya for some time. I spoke to the special lady. Just she's doing well. Special lady there in St. Louis. So that's for my hail-ups. I normally move to my observations and review before I go to my thesis. And our observations in review is that time when we reflect on the issues, and there's so many issues here in St. Kitts Nevis and all around the globe. We look at the things that we have accomplished. Some people give me what they call homework, and we look at what and how it helped others. What has changed since, and what we have learned as a people, because yes, it's a learning process as well. And after our observations and review, we will begin our thesis. It's a normal thesis, and I know many of you look forward to that thesis, so I won't disappoint you. And my thesis tonight I have titled A New Destiny Movie, directed by Mark and Momma Brantley. It's going to be interesting. But my first observation tonight, I extend our prayers. Our prayers, yes, are still with our Jamaican brothers and sisters, and we are happy to learn of the discontinuation of the flash flood warnings over there in Jamaica. I called some friends and they were doing okay. Just those who are suffering would get over things. Things are not easy when you have a Category 5, Cat 5 storm, hurricane. And then I don't believe that Jamaica had a hurricane in almost 30 or more years. But the flash flood warning, according to Television Jamaica, has been discontinued.
Meteorological Service of Jamaica has discontinued the flash flood watch for low-lying and flood-prone areas for all parishes. The significant feature is a trough across Jamaica, which was induced by Hurricane Melissa. The hurricane is projected to move farther away from the island and is forecast to pass near or to the west of Bermuda late today. Observations indicate that only isolated light to moderate showers affected the island yesterday. Partly cloudy conditions with isolated showers are forecast for northern parishes and widely scattered afternoon showers occurring across sections of western parishes and hilly areas, otherwise remaining mostly cloudy.
And my Straight Talk family, things are not back to normal yet. Obviously, there's quite a lot of damage in some areas of Jamaica. St. Elizabeth, I can't say I know Jamaica, but I don't know that area. I'm familiar with Mobay. But things are not back to normal as yet. We understand it's been difficult to get around, and even helicopters are finding it difficult to land in the affected areas, I should say. And that's not good news, my Straight Talk family. And we trust that things would improve as the days progress. We heard a report. We got a report, in fact, from the Minister of Information there in Jamaica, and I'm trying to get you up to date. And we have learned that the Prime Minister and Your Holiness has been unable to get to some parts of Jamaica in the hurricane damaged areas, and that's what happens sometimes when you have these terrible storms, these powerful storms, I should say, and it down power lines, it's lots of rain, it floods, inaccessible via roads, and the list goes on. And this is what we heard from the Minister of Information in Jamaica.
The Prime Minister today will attempt to do Trelawney, Westmoreland, and Hanover. So yesterday we were able to do some of St. Elizabeth, we were able to do some of St. James, didn't get to do everything that we would have wanted to do because sometimes the helicopter could not land because of the devastation. Yesterday they started the work to get to Westmoreland. They are cutting their way on foot through blocked roads, by foot. This is not easy work. So they were able to get to Black River through a lot of very difficult work and difficult conditions. They were also able to do Luana, Middle Quarters, and New Holland.
And that's an update from the Minister of Information, I think that lady is. But thankfully, the official death tolls are not really high, but one death is one too many. But the official death tolls for Jamaica are still uncertain. Some sources have reported at least 4 fatalities, and like I said, one fatality is one too many. But others say more deaths are suspected, so we keep our prayers and keep our fingers crossed. Keep praying rather and keep our fingers crossed. Overall economic damage estimate, it's gone in the US $22 billion range as one estimate for Jamaica alone. There's no detailed damage by parish and in terms of the infrastructure status. Schools, hospitals, utilities are still being assessed and verified, and some remote areas are still cut off, complicating a full assessment. Our second observation relates to the Caribbean. And we ask the question, is the Caribbean area still a zone of peace? And CARICOM government remain friends of all and enemies of none. Because that seemed to have changed somewhat, my Straight Dog family, especially in more recent times when we had leadership changes especially down south in Trinidad and Tobago. But that may be the view of Prime Minister Gaston Brown, that we are a zone of peace and we are friends of all and enemies of none. As Brown said this just last week, my Straight Talk family.
Antigua and Barbuda is determining that this hemisphere should remain a zone of peace. And we have no interest getting involved in any geopolitical spats with anyone. We are friends of all, and we're not going to get involved or entertain any form of military action or hostility against any other nation.
And just recently, or I should say recently elected, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Besesa expressed her variance with those views of most CARICOM members. And her actions has led to this reaction from Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro, to wit, suspension of all energy agreements with Trinidad and Tobago, all because of this.
A U.S. warship that's become a source of diplomatic tensions in the Caribbean. The presence of the USS Gravely, which has been docked in Trinidad and Tobago since Sunday, has been denounced as a provocation by neighboring Venezuela, which said it was suspending all energy agreements with the island nation.
Faced with the threat of seeing Trinidad and Tobago become the aircraft carrier of the American empire against Venezuela, I have approved the immediate suspension of all energy agreements between our countries.
In the past 2 months, the Trump administration has launched a series of airstrikes against boats suspected of smuggling drugs in the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean. The campaign has driven a wedge between the U.S. and many South American countries, including Venezuela, which has denounced a plot to oust its president, Nicolas Maduro. One of the few Latin American countries to back the U.S. airstrikes, Trinidad and Tobago said Monday it welcomed the warship's presence in its waters.
The U.S. being a superior power to Trinidad and Tobago, we will always look to see how best larger nations can help smaller ones like Trinidad and Tobago. The Gravely is here in furtherance of that request, and we welcome them being here. It demonstrates that the U.S. continues to be a very strong partner with Trinidad and Tobago.
A staunch Trump ally, Trinidad's prime minister said Monday her country didn't need Venezuela's gas and that she would not give in to any blackmail by Caracas.
And Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Besesa, as you just heard, said Trinidad and Tobago does not need Venezuelan gas and has its own economic strategy to sustain growth. On Sunday, the Trinidad and Tobago government stressed that the USS Gravely was in Port of Spain as part of continued training exercises with the U.S. for the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force and continued cooperation between the two countries. Interesting perspective. But Straight Talk is following both stories, Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, and we will keep you posted, my Straight Talk family. But those, for now, are my observations for tonight, and I move without hesitation to my thesis, which I have titled, as mentioned earlier, A New Destiny Movie, directed by Mark and Momma Brantley. And when I thought of raising this or speaking about this movie that's going on, being filmed over there in Nevis, Destiny, I found out that there are several movies with the same title, Destiny. dating back as far as 1921, when there was a German silent film directed by Fritz Lang. There were other notable ones with the same title, Destiny, including the 1997 Egyptian-French historical drama, the 2001 television drama or television movie, also the 2014 Jamaican drama. Now, in 2025, Belgian libertarian Olivier Janssens stars in this Nevision film, Destiny, directed by Mark and Momma Brantley. But first I must ask you this. Why is the Nevis Island administration promoting this Destiny project instead of the developer Olivier Janssen? Why is the government of Nevis, the Nevis Island administration, acting like the marketing arm of this private business? What's really going on behind those curtains of secrecy? Because all we are seeing that is called consultation is the marketing efforts of the Mark Brantley administration to promote this Destiny project, this movie. And it was just a little over 4 years ago, ironically, when Mark Brantley announced what he called an historic deal, when he signed a 3-year multi-picture production agreement with MSR Media to film more than a dozen movies on Nevis. And this was an extension of a 2-picture deal struck in January 2021 between the NIA and MSR Media, a UK-based film and television production company. And from all reports, the response was overwhelming.
The response that we had for the casting was amazing. We have had 200 people on the island contacting us. We have casted 168 people for the film, which is quite amazing. So we had an overwhelming response. And I think that when we open the Acting Academy, MSR Acting Academy next week, we're going to develop real talent for acting here, for people that can appear and have speaking roles in our film. All our cast is now in Nevis. Some have finished their quarantine. Some will be out of quarantine next week. And so they are enjoying very much Nevis. We are now going more into a long-term process because we are scheduling to produce 6 films before the end of the year in Nevis and structure this as a long-term business corporation here in Nevis.
But back then, in 2021, my Straight Talk family, according to Premier Brantley, it was about diversifying the economy of Nevis from its heavy dependence on tourism. And by November 2021, MSR Media had already produced 4 movies in Nevis, my Straight Talk family.
And it's film number 4 for MSR Media in Nevis and St. Kitts. And so we're thrilled, Mark, for you hosting us as always.
It's only for me to welcome all of you to the island and to say thank you. This journey with MSR started several months ago. And as Philippa said, we are now on our 4th movie. And this one, I think, is more expansive because it also, of course, has some filming on our sister island of St. Kitts. We like to say we're 2 islands, 1 paradise. So we offer 2 islands to you. Home. And Philippe, thank you for all that you're doing.
And over a 30-month period, MSR Media had produced 10 movies. And Mark Brantley is very close to Philippe Martinez and the development of these movies. So he got the production and direction of the movie business in his bones. So he's embarked upon this new Destiny movie that will soon be released. But it's not about Nevis. This new Destiny movie that will soon be released is surely not about Nevis. It is about Premier Mark Brantley and his wife Sharon Momma Brantley and making money. And to Mark, it doesn't matter what people say. It matters not what people say about him. And he let us know that in no uncertain terms, my Straight Talk family.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to advise those who may not have known that it does not matter to me one jot what people say. It doesn't matter. What you have to say about me and your opinion of me, that no matter. You understand? Because when I go home, it is the opinions there that matter to me most. I live by me. You live by you. So you worry about who home by you, whether them like you or not. And I can worry about who home by me.
So what matters is who home by him. So besides the conflict of interest of Momma Brantley, it is reliably rumored that a lot of scheming and clandestine collaborative work is happening behind the scenes between Mark and Sharon Momma Brantley and Olivia Janssens, all in an effort to hoodwink the people of Nevis, and in particular the landowners on the south coast there in Nevis. Now, it's one thing to be deceived and tricked by a white foreigner, but for the premier and his wife to participate in such is a whole different level of dishonesty. Momma Brantley, we are told, knew and met with the developer long before her husband Mark. At least that's what he told us. He told us this, my Straight Talk family.
You have asked about my wife again, and what I can tell you is that I had no involvement whatsoever in anything to do with these people deciding to use my wife. In fact, I will go further and tell you that my wife knew these people before I did. So nothing came to the government and then there was a suggestion that somehow they were sent to my wife. That is not the case. My wife actually knew these people and was engaged with these people. I think she told me that her first engagement with them was merely to find information because the people were interested. They wanted to know who owned. They wanted to know, what was happening on the island in terms of activity, in terms of real estate. And she's a real estate broker, and so she dealt with them. But there is absolutely no truth to the suggestion that I had anything to do with steering those people to my wife's business or in any way, shape, or form. And I will say that because that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm not here to try to convince anybody of anything. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm telling you what the facts are. You accept them or you don't accept them. But that is the position. My wife actually knew these people long before I had any knowledge of them or engaged with them in any way, shape, or form. The people have come to the government. They have made a formal proposal to the government, and the government is considering that proposal.
And my Straight Talk family, last week, Monday, the NIA Minister Spencer Brand, in the efforts at marketing this movie and this project called Destiny, presented a preview to the movie to a small, boisterous crowd of Nevisians at the Anglican Church Hall in Charlestown. And all Spencer Brand did was to regurgitate the propaganda published by Johnsons, who many are now calling racist because of this post that's been circulating. In recent times. You can read it for yourselves, my Straight Talk family. But Spencer Brand highlighted certain features of the film, like members of the project team took the pains to introduce one by one the members of the project team. And one member that Brand spoke about, my Straight Talk family, was a Dr. Andreas Baumgartner. That's the right pronunciation. And Brand did take his time, as I said, and went through all these members of the project team, and this particular member of the team, though he had difficulty calling his name, but it took some time and introduced this particular member of the team, Dr. Andreas Baumgartner, a German, my Straight Talk family.
We have Dr. Andreas Bogdaner. I hope I get that name right. An expert with decades of practicing experience, and he would have been one of the individuals who have been consulting on this particular development.
Baumgartner is the right pronunciation. And yes, one of the main individuals being consulted on this project. But quite interesting, my Straight Dog family. We provided this information before, and we are bound to provide this information again as it relates to the opinion of Dr. Andreas Baumgartner, who said this.
Special economic zones, as defined by the United Nations, are geographically delimited areas within which governments facilitate industrial activity through fiscal and regulatory incentives and infrastructure support. If you look at this definition, there are three core elements. And if you only take one thing from this lecture, it's those three elements. It's a geographically delimited zone. You could speak of it as an island within the country. It has got its own set of rules and regulations. And why does it have that? To serve the purposes of a specific economic objectives. That's what we're talking about. A zone set up to achieve business objectives.
So Dr. Andreas Baumgartner, as you can glean from his definition of special economic zones. Remember, as an island in a country, and as a member of the professional team, Baumgartner was the one who warned us about trusting people as well. He said this.
Don't forget, you do have us coming there and telling them you have to do things fundamentally different. You have to let some strange foreigners, parentheses colonialists, take over part of your country. And we have heard many of those concerns, reactions. When you go there and say, oh, we need those special regimes. Oh, yeah, that's so painful. It's so complicated. This will be seen as selling out our country. I'll be giving up sovereignty. Oh, gosh. The press will be hostile to this. Well, yeah, probably. How do we know who to trust when trying something new? And those are fair concerns.
Fair concerns. As we uncover this Destiny movie, Brand also informed the gathering that no cost estimates were available. But how will anyone approve a project without an estimated cost of construction? We need BOQs, bills of quantities. No source of funds were revealed. No time of commencement and time for completion available. And this is such critical information. And this has to be one of the biggest scams of the century, being hoisted on the people by Terence Michael July, Mark Brantley, Denzel Douglas, the Soko engineer Conris, and the slow student Jeffrey Hanley. They were all in the parliament and supported this legislation. Mark Brantley told us about fees. He said this about CBI fees.
About the connectivity with CBI. Now, one of the things that has been said or mooted in the agreements that are being negotiated is that every single proposed investor in that South Coast project will have to pay. Not to, because many people...
It can't be just about generating revenue as well. If based on...
I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. Yes, seemed to be an internet issue. Oh, yes, my Straight Talk family. Are you still there? I am here. I wonder if you are there. There was obviously an internet issue. Don't know if it's in the area or what. But we are here, my Straight Talk family. And we are going to continue. We'll get back all the time we need. Take my word. Take my word, my Straight Talk family. We'll get back all the time we need because we have to go back. We just have to go back to where we were, my Straight Talk family. And we are going to get back up and running, my Straight Talk family, as we Yes, no, we've. Yes, my Stray Dog family, we do apologize for that break in transmission that we had, and seems as if our internet had just seemed to have dropped out. But we were talking about the scenes in the movie that predict imaginary qualities. Nothing but a new fictional civilization where everything seems perfect. Now, my Stray Dog family, it took the Liberd on the panel. It took the Liberd on the panel to inform us. Who informed us about the actual disposition or disposition, I should say, of the project. And we were told this, my Stray Dog family, by Troy Liberd.
As the Premier would have said in his opening remarks, we have not yet signed anything. We are not at that point yet, Dr. Daly. We are at the point where we are assessing the development. When we get to that point, then certainly all of the agencies who need to be involved will be involved.
And my Stray Dog family, there's a confession made about not knowing who or the background of these people as well.
First of all, we do not know the full background of all of the persons who are the developers. These developers, of course, they were not born and bred here in Nevis, so we're not going to know the full background of all of them. Okay? Now, as for whether somebody is a libertarian or something else, I cannot answer that question. Okay?
So why I ask, again, my Stray Dog family, why is the Nevis Island administration using the state resources to promote this new movie called Destiny, and they are not forthcoming? The question of citizenship and the right to vote was raised, and that is covered by existing legislation and our constitution, no matter what Mark Brantley may want to tell us, my Stray Dog family.
St. Kitts and Nevis already has, by some tallies, well over 50,000 citizens who are economic citizens across the globe. And the truth is that until now, we have not tackled the question of whether or not those 50,000+ people can vote in St. Kitts and Nevis. So the reality then is that on the existing understanding, those individuals have the same rights as you and I. Those individuals can at any point in time decide to descend on St. Kitts and Nevis, buy property, vote, do whatever else they would like to do as citizens.
But my Stray Dog family, under Section 37 of the National Assembly and Elections Act, however, excuse me, there's no discrimination when it comes to voting. And the act is very clear, and it reads, at 37(1), it says, subject to this act and any other enactment imposing any disqualifications for registration as a voter, a person is qualified to be registered as a voter for a constituency if on the registration date he or she is a citizen of St. Christopher and Nevis of 18 years or upwards who is ordinarily resident in St. Christopher and Nevis. A citizen of St. Christopher and Nevis of 18 years or upwards whose name appears in the register of voters for constituency and for a constituency, beg your pardon, and who is ordinarily resident overseas and has a domicile in St. Christopher and Nevis. And it continues, my Straight Talk family. So, do not be fooled about people cannot vote. Additionally, my Straight Talk family, a citizen of St. Kitts Nevis needs no alien landholding license to buy land on St. Kitts Nevis. Hence, the reason why Olivier Johnson told us that he is a citizen. He said this to us.
Hello, fellow Nevisians and Kittitians. My name is Olivier Janssens, and I'm the founder of Destiny. I have been proud to call myself a Nevisian for almost a decade now. And in that time, I have come to see both the challenges and the immense opportunities of our island. Around the world, special economic zones have transformed entire nations. Dubai is perhaps the clearest example. What was once a small trading port is now a global hub of wealth, innovation, and opportunity. Europe has Monaco, and the Middle East has Dubai. But the Americas still lack their own equivalent. I believe Nevis can seize that role. The first country in the Caribbean to create a modern zone of this kind will not only uplift its people, but could become one of the wealthiest and most desirable regions in the world. When I looked at Nevis, I saw a place ready for transformation. The southern corridor of the island is today completely undeveloped and sadly in decline. Erosion eats away more land each year. Yet this very area, if properly managed, holds the potential to become the engine of Nevis's future.
And make no mistake, my Straight Talk family, what is happening right now in Nevis is nothing short of a betrayal. A betrayal wrapped in fine words, hidden behind closed doors and sold to us as progress. They call it the Destiny Project, but I call it what it truly is, a movie of manipulation and deceit directed by the Premier and his wife. Yes, my brothers and sisters, a family affair produced in back rooms of power, starring Olivier Janssens and directed by Premier Mark Brantley as Mr. Approval, and his wife Sharon Momma Brantley as the middlewoman or Madam Go-Between. While the people struggle to make ends meet, while farmers, fisherfolk, and small business owners fight every day to survive, they are busy cutting deals in the shadows, smiling in our faces, and selling out our land behind our backs. Tell me, how can there be no conflict of interest when the very person approving the project is married to the one profiting from it? How can that be right? How can that be just? This so-called sustainable economic zone, this grand destiny, is nothing more than a foreign island being built inside our country. A private kingdom for the rich and connected. And while the true children of Nevis are pushed to the sidelines. And my Straight Talk family, I must commend Dr. Daly for his courage. I thought I'd make mention of that tonight. I must again, I repeat, commend Dr. Daly for his courage and persistence. And I can also associate myself with his erudite comments, I call it. And he said this, my Straight Talk family.
I have one home, Nevis. Nevis. And I never imagined that in my life that I will be faced with the possibility that I will become, in my lifetime, a minority on Nevis. That is serious business. So while we are here pontificating about all these wonderful projects and jobs, 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 I would prefer to live in a hut as a free man than in a mansion as a slave.
Yes, my sweet dog family. Dignity cannot coexist with bondage. The free man in the hut may sleep on straw, but his dreams are his own. Whereas the slave in the mansion may rest on silk, but his sleep belongs to his master. They say it will bring jobs and investment, but at what cost? At what cost of our land? At what cost of our culture? At what cost of our majority? Think about it. Nevis has just over 13,000 inhabitants or people, and they plan to bring in 10,000 new citizens, plus a spouse and perhaps 2 kids. That equals to 40,000 people. Do you hear me, my straight dog family? 10,000 can equal 40,000. And Mark said there are 50,000 out there. So we'll have 90,000 all told. That means the Afro-Caribbean people of Nevis, the very foundation of this island, would become the minority in their own homeland. That, my friends, is not development. That is displacement. And what makes it worse? They tell us nothing. No one knows the cost. No one knows the source of funds. No one knows when it starts or when it ends. Billions are whispered in back rooms, and we are expected to smile and clap while they auction off our heritage. My people, this is our wake-up call. We must not allow them to play with our destiny like a game of chance. Do not let the Premier and his wife turn Nevis into their personal real estate empire. Let Mark go home to Mama Brantley, where he says it matters. We must rise. Rise for transparency. Rise for accountability. Rise for the protection of Nevisian land and Nevisian pride. And if Mark Brantley asks this question 1 billion times, standing shoulder to shoulder, we must all shout loud and clear, my straight dog family, we must.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to advise those who may not have known that it does not matter to me one jot what people say. It doesn't matter. What you have to say about me and your opinion of me, that no matter. You understand? Because when I go home, it is the opinions there that matter to me most. I live by me. You live by you. So you worry about who home by you, whether them like you or not. And I can worry about who home by me.
My straight dog family, the question, if you ask 1 billion times, as I said, standing shoulder to shoulder, we must all shout loud and clear, my straight dog family, in response to this question.
The project that is proposed is what we are talking about. Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we are talking about, right? So that's where we are. So it sounds to my ear that the eyes have it. That's what it sounds like. The eyes have.
Your ears are full of wax, Mark, because the knees have it. They said no to corruption, no to deception, no to this so-called destiny project. Demand that the SEZ Act is repealed. Demand that the shady deal be stopped. Demand that the destiny of Nevis be written, not in secret contracts and foreign bank accounts, but in the hearts and hands of her people. Because the true destiny of Nevis is not for sale. The true destiny of Nevis belongs to the fishermen in Jessops, the farmers in Cotton Ground, the teachers in Gingerland, the youth of Brown Hill, the ordinary, honest, hard-working divisions who have built this island from the ground up. So let them hear you loud and clear, from Saddle Hill to the shores of Charlestown. Divisions must not be fooled. Divisions must not be silenced. And divisions must not surrender your land to greed. Our destiny is not theirs to sell. It is ours to defend. Long live Nevis. Long live her people. And long live our true destiny, a destiny of justice, integrity, and pride. But as we look at the final scenes of this Destiny movie, which is produced and directed by Mark and Momma Brantley, we will see the infusion of insularity. Some critics have their Christopher Harbour, but don't want divisions to get their destiny. And Mark peddled the line. He peddled this line, remember, my Straight Dog family, very early.
We want to do that South Coast Road to open up the south coast of Nevis for development. I've dubbed that our Southeast Peninsula 2.0 because we recognize this Kennedy Simmons Highway in St. Kitts opened up the Southeast Peninsula for development. We want to do the same because from you leave Long Point all the way around to Gingerland, there's no development, no infrastructure. We want to change that.
And my Straight Dog family, Christopher Harbour, my people, is a big scam, a colossal one. Yet Terence Michael Drew declared that he was not vexed with Buddy Darby. Remember he told us this, my Straight Dog family?
Be upset with Darby. If you're a businessman and you could get a good deal, take it. But it's up to the government to make sure it's prudent and it's not being taken for a ride. And there,
my Straight Dog family, just like Olivia Johnson promising billions, Buddy Darby promised that Christopher Harbour will put $17 billion in the St. Kitts and Nevis economy over a 20-year period, which they failed to do. As a matter of fact, the St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla National Bank secured an order from the High Court to recover 434 acres of land in lieu of the debt owed by Christopher Harbour. I sat between Buddy Darby and his son when he agreed to surrender the land. But Terence Michael Drew intervened, and today, Christopher Harbour and Buddy Darby owe the St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla National Bank and the St. Kitts, Nevis government an accumulated debt of over $130 million in principal and interest. So Nevis do not need a Southeast Peninsula 2.0. Neither does it need to be a Monaco or Dubai in the Caribbean. That's just a way to distract the masses who oppose this project that need to be stopped now. The Destiny movie reminds me of what is taking place in South Africa. Just look at Orania in South Africa and we will see similarities, my Straight Dog family. We will see this.
Deep in the northern Cape of South Africa is a controversial town like no other. A place that has no black residents, where only white Afrikaners call home, and it has been in existence since 1991, even after the feared apartheid regime that segregated black South Africans.
Orania is a whites-only town. Black people cannot live or work here. Every job is reserved for the whites.
Do I believe that places like Orania should exist? No. Do I believe that Orania is racist? Of course.
The white Afrikaners only community of Orania got their own currency, their own flag, their own government, and make their own policies.
In school, they teach their own language and they generate their own electricity. Typical of any city, right?
Right here in Orania, we have our own private security company where we provide security for Orania.
And of course, we have our own airstrip here in Orania.
In Orania, we're building a
city, so we have our own construction company.
And only hire white Afrikaners workforce.
Have you ever sold property to anyone who is not African speaking?
No.
If I have money, how much you sell? If I have money, you think I can buy?
Yeah.
Because I am not African.
It seems the long-term goal is to cut off from South Africa to build a white-only country.
And this reminds me of destiny, my Straight Talk family. However, in closing, I'm happy that the Nevis National Trust has spoken and written this letter, my Straight Talk family, to Brantley and his gang. And they are concerned. They wrote about their concerns, my Straight Talk family. And they're concerned about the secrecy surrounding this project. But I am happy as well that the majority of the visions have spoken. The majority of the visions have spoken, and you have answered Mark Brantley with the utmost clarity when he asks you this question.
The project that is proposed is what we are talking about. Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we are talking about, right? So that's where we are. So it sounds to my ear that the eyes have it. That's what it sounds like. The eyes have it.
No to SSZ with utmost clarity. Let your actions speak louder than your words. And my Straight Talk family, boycott this new Destiny movie produced by Mark and Momma Brantley. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. Yes, we had an interruption, a technical interruption, and I'm sure that many of you are still with me. We do apologize for that break in transmission as our internet just went down. But I'll open the lines, my Straight Talk family, if you're still with me, and entertain your calls and entertain your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. I just want to implore you that when I do open those lines, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let's ensure, my Straight Talk family, that the things we say will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, it's 9:32, and I go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night, Mr. Leiber.
Good night, my dear. I recognize that voice.
A wise man can learn more from his enemies.
Can learn more from his enemies. Yes?
Than a fool from his friends.
From his friends.
I repeat, a wise man can learn more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well, my Straight Talk family. Always provide you thought-provoking quotations. A wise man can learn more from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Yes, my Straight Talk family, the lines are open. Yes, we had that break in transmission, but we're up and running. And our lines are open, like I said. I'll take some emails in the meantime as I wait for you. Some weeks ago in Nevis, so let me take this call and I'll get back to that email. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Leiber. This is Kalikwan Ann. Good night.
How are you, my dear?
I'm okay. And how are you and your family?
We are peaceful. And yours?
Yeah, everybody is blessed. Everybody is good. Everybody is safe. Everybody is in good health. Thank the Almighty tonight that we all are here again to see another night and another Thursday night, and also you and your family. Let us give God thanks and praise and bless His name. What I want to say tonight, the Prime Minister of this country, he's a Muslim, and you can't expect nothing from a Muslim. Muslim people is wicked, and this is where he bringing here for us wickedness for the people of this country, for man, woman, and child, everybody. From the time he win and he go in India, he and he cabal them, he put on 3%. Nobody else get nothing. The 5% where he paying, that they can't go nowhere. The $500 where he paying, that can't go nowhere. Cost of living getting more higher. People have the bills to pay. They have children to feed. A lot of people cannot pay the bill. They're cutting out people. You know, Mr. Leiber, left, right, and center, you know. They're cutting out people. And if Mr. Harris was Indian, not like this, not like that, we're going to happen present right now. They're cutting out people going left, right, and center in this place. Show them people there. Show labor people there, and there's a problem. Every minute I've been tongue-out meeting, but I've been tongue-out meeting to tell the people them lie, to bring lie again to the people them. When me tell you, Mr. Leiber, tonight, and everybody listen, because all over the world, people are listening. Wherever he gonna give the people in this country, they're gonna check where he give them, and they're gonna watch the amicable them backside out the office side. They don't know what one thing what they're doing, and they cannot run this country here. He went in every black here, you know. You're watching him. He had them he hear them come white. He don't know what he do. He got them advisors, them dancing advisors. I tell him a load of nonsense. They don't know what they're doing. The one from Yung Wong and the other one. They do not know what they're telling him. They do not know what they're saying to him. And next thing again, Mr. Leiber, I hear the police one in here and one in there. He gone six months now since my brother son gone. And this so-called commissioner, he ain't doing nothing. But me I tell him, you know, when karma ready, that's one thing you cannot play with karma. When karma ready, karma gonna do it work. And you see what happening into the outer world, Jamaica and with other country? If this Prime Minister do not take heed, God gonna show us an example with what gonna take place with us in this country here. Because it's pure lie he bringing to the people them. Tomorrow they're gonna host over family and all over the world are gonna listen. The speaker woman there. And I hope she not tell Mr. Harris she don't go she talking. Because in the next one, in the next parents and one. Mr. Harris when he see it, she going inside there to do the people and walk. She needs to know she damn place. Because she can tell a big man about sit down and got the rest of them attack. Eh? That is not fair. That is not fair, Mr. Leiber. That's a wrong thing she telling and she doing and got the rest of them inside there and after the man. Eh? Okay. She really see the people we need and work for him.
Okay. Okay, my
Mr.
dear.
Leiber,
Yes.
I want to know when is election. Because he own people them. He own people them waiting for you to call and say election that time next year. Because they're going to walk the backside out.
Okay.
Nothing they have done, nothing they have done to this country here. They're telling lies to the people them. People don't think it. Oh my, your eye do not put back in. Do not put back in. Dr. Joe and he covered them back in there, you know. Otherwise, I pop.
Okay, my dear. Okay, thanks a lot for your intervention. Always so passionate, my dear. Thanks a lot for your contribution. And we hope as well that he can tell us, just like the Basia High School on the way, the Ritz-Carlton Hotel on the way, the new hospital on the way, then he must tell us too that elections are underway. We are looking eagerly, waiting for the opportunity to change the change. Some weeks ago on Nevis, reads this email. On the Let's Talk program, the discussion was about the SSZ zone on Nevis. One of the panelists, Mr. Glendale Herbert, unwittingly said that he read in the act that a state will be created in Nevis, in the south of the island. Mark challenged Glendale that nothing like that was in the bill, and they after jokingly gave him some time to find it in the bill. And every now and then I ask him if he hasn't found it yet. Then Glendale admitted it was in the bill as he first thought. The Premier went on a rampage days after accusing Glendale of spreading misinformation. Mr. Lywood, I believe Glendale, having read the bill, could only conclude that the proposed SSZ in the south of Nevis will be an island in Nevis. Glendale was absolved when one of the investors clearly told the world that the SSZ will be an island created in Nevis. Mr. Glendale Herbert, you are a discerning individual, and I tip my hat to you. Continue to fight and defend Nevis. Reads this email. Patches, I haven't heard the voice of Mr. Monstrat on Straight Talk for a long time now. Albeit he's on all the other talk shows in St. Kitts and Nevis, and he does make very sound contributions. That some Labour supporters like the Village Crook and recently the Monkey Hill Butcher are calling on him to keep out of our politics in St. Kitts and Nevis. I want to say to Mr. Monstrat, don't be scared and deterred by those blind supporters of Labour. They are political beggars of Labour and have to sing for their supper to survive. And I admonish you, Mr. Monstrat, to never cease to call into our talk-in shows. We miss your captivating voice on Straight Talk, though. Reads this email. Patches, good night. Have you heard that Jensen has tendered his resignation at work? This is a big, big talk. It has been rumored that he is the candidate for number 6. Have you heard anything? Seems as though trouble in the camp. Reads this other email. It was 10 man in one who said it many times. So did a popular radio personality. They said the news cycle in this federation only lasts 9 days. I am hoping that's not the case with this SSZ, but I am inclined to believe it is so. One example being Dwyer's rant about the building in Frigate Bay. That story died after a few days, and the building is nearing completion. The people are helpless against this government and its wrongful and very deceitful behavior. It is pointless to debate the SSZ with the Premier, as his interest is not aligned with his office of the people he was placed to represent. I suspect this SSZ agreement will come back across the waters to St. Kitts to be signed by the Prime Minister, and then St. Kitts Nevis will miraculously get a double salary and a large influx of money. An election is sooner than expected, and I fear that even if the people do the right, the money may steal it from the people. Reads this email. It's 9:43, my Straight Dog family, and I want to thank those who held the fort after we had that break in our transmission. And for those of you who may have joined me belatedly, we looked at our thesis tonight, which we titled New Destiny Movie, produced and directed by Mark and Momma Brantley. And in my introduction, I'd made reference to the fact that there are many movies with a similar title. We went back to 1921, I think it was, yes, 1921. And referred to the German silent film directed by Fritz Lang. Other notable ones with the same title, Destiny, include the 1997 Egyptian-French historical drama, the 2001 television movie, also the 2014 Jamaican drama. But now, in 2025, Belgian libertarian Olivier Janssens stars in this Nevision film, Destiny, by Mark and Momma Brantley. I made mention of just a little over 4 years ago. And Mark likes the movie business. He was ecstatic, excited about what he called the movie deal. And he signed a 3-year multi-picture production agreement with MSR Media to film more than a dozen movies on Nevis. And I'm sure many of you remember this. Many of you remember the extension of the 2-picture deal. And recall that Philippe Martinez said it was overwhelming, my straight of family.
The response that we had for the casting was amazing. We have had 200 people on the island contacting us. We have casted 168 people for the film, which is quite amazing. So we had an overwhelming response. And I think that when we open the Acting Academy, MSR Acting Academy next week, we're going to develop real talent for acting here, for people that can appear and have speaking roles in our film. All our cast is now in Nevis. Some have finished their quarantine. Some will be out of quarantine next week. And so they are enjoying very much Nevis. We are now going more into a long-term process because we are scheduling to produce 6 films before the end of the year in Nevis, and structure this as a long-term business corporation here in Nevis.
And by November 2021, MSR Media had already produced 4 movies. And Mark Brantley was excited.
And it's film number 4 for MSR Media in Nevis and St. Kitts. And so we're thrilled, Mark, for you hosting us as always.
It's only for me to welcome all of you to the island and to say thank you. This journey with MSR started several months ago. And as Philippa said, we are now on our 4th movie. And this one, I think, is more expansive because it also, of course, has some filming on our sister island of St. Kitts. We like to say we're 2 islands, 1 paradise. So we offer 2 islands to you. Home. And Philippe, thank you for all that you're doing.
And my Straight Talk family. Over a 30-month period, MSR Media produced 10 movies. And Brantley enjoyed that. The movie business seemed to be in his bones. So he's about to produce and direct this new movie this new Destiny movie. And we hope it will never be released in Nevis. Because it's not about Nevis. It's about Premier Mark Brantley and his wife Sharon Momma Brantley and making money. And Mark already said that it doesn't matter what people say. He don't care what people say. He going home to Momma Brantley.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to advise those who may not have known that it does not matter to me one jot what people say. It doesn't matter. What you have to say about me and your opinion of me, that no matter. You understand? Because when I go home, it is the opinions there that matter to me most. I live by me. You live by you. So you worry about who home by you, whether them like you or not. And I can worry about who home by me.
Well, my Street Dog family, who home by him, raises the issue of conflict of interest. Besides the conflict of interest of Momma Brantley, it is also reliably rumored that a lot of scheming and clandestine collaborative work is happening behind the scenes between Mark and Sharon Momma Brantley and Olivia Johnson's to hoodwink the people of Nevis and in particular the landowners on the South Coast. My Street Dog family, it is one thing to be deceived and tricked by a white foreigner, but for the Premier and his wife to participate in a whole different level of dishonesty is different. Momma Brantley knew and met with the developer long before her husband Mark. That's what her husband told us.
You have asked about my wife again, and what I can tell you is that I had no involvement whatsoever in anything to do with these people deciding to use my wife. In fact, I will go further and tell you that my wife knew these people before I did. So nothing came to the government and then there was a suggestion that somehow they were sent to my wife. That is not the case. My wife actually knew these people and was engaged with these people. I think she told me that her first engagement with them was merely to find information because the people were interested. They wanted to know who owned. They wanted to know, what was happening on the island in terms of activity, in terms of real estate. And she's a real estate broker, and so she dealt with them. But there is absolutely no truth to the suggestion that I had anything to do with steering those people to my wife's business or in any way, shape, or form. And I will say that because that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm not here to try to convince anybody of anything. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm telling you what the facts are. You accept them or you don't accept them. But that is the position. My wife actually knew these people long before I had any knowledge of them or engaged with them in any way, shape, or form. The people have come to the government. They have made a formal proposal to the government, and the government is considering that proposal.
And not only is his wife the go-between, the same people he's referring to, but the NIA cabinet, the cabinet of NIA are promoting the project and talking about consultation. Last Monday, NIA Minister Spencer Brand spent almost an hour presenting a preview to the movie, this Destiny movie, over there in Nevis. And all Spencer Brand did was to regurgitate the propaganda published by Olivia Johnson and his team. So we must ask the question. The question has to be asked. Why is the NIA promoting this project instead of the developer? Why is the government acting like the marketing arm of this private business? What's really going on behind those curtains of secrecy? And those are fair questions, my Straight Talk family. Fair questions we must ask each time. But my Straight Talk family, this has to be one of the biggest scams of the century. Hoisted on the people by Terence Michael Drew, Mark Brantley, Denzel Douglas, the Soko engineer Conris, and the slow student Jeffrey Hanley. Brantley told us about fees, CBI fees. Well, how can there be CBI fees if it's not a CBI project? Whose law? Who made this up, my Straight Talk family? Under what legislation they'll collect these fees?
About the connectivity with CBI. Now, one of the things that has been said or mooted in the agreements that are being negotiated is that every single proposed investor in that South Coast project will have to pay the registration and processing fees for citizenship by investment, even if that person does not then want it or apply for it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So once you come into that zone, you have to pay the money, right, up front. If you choose not to, because many people choose not to, they're not interested in citizenship, then that's a matter for you. But whether you decide to apply for citizenship or not, you have to pay that money up front. That is one of the aspects that has been negotiated just in terms of generating revenue for the Citizenship by Investment program and for the government of St. Kitts and the government of Nevis as well.
Is this a CBI project? Those are the questions we're asking. And beware as well, my Straight Talk family, that 10,000 people can translate into 40,000 citizens based on a family of 4. Are we ready for destiny? But the arrogance, my Straight Talk family, the arrogance of Mark Brantley echoes across the Federation and beyond. Mark Brantley doesn't believe that his people should have a voice in their own development. He said it was the first time any project is being made public. So expect Mark Brantley to ram this through the Nevis Island Assembly, then bring it to Papa Drew to ratify in the federal parliament. My Straight Talk family, destiny we are told was hatched many years ago. Many years ago, my Straight Talk family. Caller, you're live.
Hi, Francis. Good night.
Good night, my dear.
How are you doing?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm good. We have a lot of rain here anyhow.
What you do? Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain all day.
Good for the farmers.
And no, this is New York.
Oh, New York don't do farming. Yes.
This is New York, and then we had a lot of high wind.
Okay. But you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You're safe.
Yeah, so I'm good.
Okay.
This that word that Mark used, that he don't care. That word Mark not supposed to use that at this moment because he's the premier. He's a leader of the island. He's not supposed to use those kind of words that he don't care when nobody say. When he leave the office, then he could use those words. But at this moment, don't say, I don't care when nobody say. You don't do that. You have to care what people say. Because you is the premier, you is the leader. When you leave the office and they talk, because I don't care when nobody say I go on my place and they go, if there's those certain words you can't use them because of the position that you hold. So I hope he understand that.
He will never understand.
No, but he must understand. I don't care when nobody say, you can't say that. You have to listen. You got to care what the citizens them say.
It's his arrogance.
Whenever you leave the office, then you don't care what nobody say because you live you and they live them.
True.
Okay, you take care, Patrice.
Thanks a lot for your intervention. And yes, he doesn't care.
Gentlemen, I am here to advise those who may not have known that it does not matter to me one jot what people say. It doesn't matter. What you have to say about me and your opinion of me, that no matter. You understand? Because when I go home, it is the opinions there that matter to me most. I live by me. You live by you. So you worry about who home by you, whether them like you or not. And I can worry about who home by me.
Yes, that's right, Dr. Palby. Well, who home by him is in for making millions of dollars in land commissions. Millions. So he has to care. Even though he say he doesn't know. My sure dog family. And we learned that she occupies an office in his firm, Daniel Brantley. How much closer will it get? Does he really care? My sure dog family, this movie Destiny was planned years ago when Brantley went on his sojourn to Monaco. Remember this. This is when it was hatched. He said his wife knew them before, knew the developers before him. Perhaps that's why she is the go-between the developer and the landowners. But utopia is the only description for the other scenes in the movie. My Street Dog family. 17,000 jobs over a 10-year period. Those are the projections. $52 billion. Wow. Somebody is in La La Land. Caller, you're live.
Patrick, good night. What's up? How are you, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
I'm okay. I'm here listening to you. I want you to explain the word to me, go between. I don't really quite understand it. That's all I call it to ask you. Why is that?
You really don't understand that.
I don't understand it.
A man of your caliber. You better eat first, my brother.
Okay then.
I like that. Well, someone said to me that Mama Brantley had to crawl on her belly to get between. Get between Olivier and the landowners. And Mark Brantley told us that his wife is the go-between. So you understand that. That's why he goes home, he says he doesn't care. He cares about what happens home. Okay? Does that explain it to you? Okay, my brother. Thanks a lot for your call.
Okay, thanks for your explanation.
Yes, my brother. Yes, that was Mark's
Developer is a company, as I believe it's called South Nevis Limited, and that company is working with my wife. So she's acting as a go-between between her client, who's the developer, and landowners, and asking if they're minded to sell their land.
You see how he used that word between, go between. But my Straight Talk family, the other scenes in the Destiny movie, we can only describe as utopia. Because with an economic output of $34 billion in Nevis and $18 billion in St. Kitts over a 10-year period. And Destiny in this movie has estimated a total construction spending of over a 10-year period of $23 billion. Yes, my Straight Talk family. We didn't fabricate that. No, we never fabricate. We provide you with the information. We don't know if these projections will materialize. We don't know, my Straight Talk family. But these are the projections. These are the projections, my Straight Talk family, of Olivier Jansen and his team. These scenes in the movie predict imaginary qualities, nothing but a new fictional civilization where everything seems perfect. So we ask, why? Why, I ask again, is the NIA using the state resources to promote this new movie called Destiny? And they're not forthcoming, my Straight Talk family. So Mark Brantley should desist from misleading his people, especially when he spoke about the CBI and the option to become citizens. Make no mistake, what is happening right now in Nevis is nothing but a betrayal. Nothing short of a betrayal. A betrayal wrapped in fine words, hidden behind closed doors, and sold to us as progress. They call it the Destiny Project. But I call it what it truly is, a movie of manipulation and deceit, directed by the Premier and his wife. A family affair, produced in the back rooms of power, starring Olivier Jansen and directed by Premier Mark Brantley as Mr. Approval, and his wife Sharon Momma Brantley as the middlewoman, or Madam Go-Between. While the people struggle to make ends meet, while farmers, fisherfolk, and small business owners fight every day to survive, they are busy cutting deals in the shadows, smiling in our faces, and selling out our land behind our backs. Tell me, how can there be no conflict of interest when the very person approving the project is married to the one profiting from the project? How can that be right? How can that be just? My Straight Talk family, the so-called sustainable economic zone, this grand destiny, is nothing more than a foreign island being built inside our country. A private kingdom for the rich and connected, while the true children of Nevis are pushed to the sidelines. And I know Dr. Daly, he would have none of that. And he made me proud as a Nevisian born in St. Kitts when he said this, my Street Dog family.
I have one home, Nevis. Nevis. And I never imagined that in my life that I will be faced with the possibility that I will become, in my lifetime, a minority on Nevis. That is serious business. So while we are here pontificating about all these wonderful projects and jobs, 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 I would prefer to live in a hut as a free man than in a mansion as a slave.
So, some words, my Street Dog family. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patches, man. Good evening, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. Good night to you and the listeners. Allow me to read something real quick. It is a conflict of interest for a country's leader to promote a project that financially benefits their spouse. A conflict of interest exists whenever a public official's private interests could compromise or appear to be compromised their official duties. This includes financial benefits to a spouse, as this creates a risk of biased decision making. I'll leave that there for now. A lot more information I got here to show many areas and many reasons why there is a conflict of interest.
Of course.
No one can convince me otherwise. And I'm just gonna say thank the Lord that He has given all of us a brain. And thank Him for giving us all the ability to think. Not one man on this earth only has a brain, and the other of us don't have that brain.
Okay.
We all have that brain and the ability to think. All I can say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis tonight, they have the ability to stop that destiny project, if so be. We hear the cries from those people in that town hall meeting last Monday. And if only the people can come off of the party line and unite and hit the streets, when they do that, they can make or break these governments on both islands. Not for 1 minute don't believe that the people don't have the power. We the people got the power in our hands.
Of course.
We can create any type of situation where we can force a referendum. We can force early elections. We can collapse these corrupted governments we have in St. Kitts and Nevis on both islands. And that premier and the prime minister, I just hope that the people can replace them in the next election cycles. Because the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis can't continue like this. The place is too corrupted. It's the most corrupted place I've seen in the Western Hemisphere, at least. The people got to understand they got the power in their hands. We see what's going on in Africa, Cameroon, Tanzania, Madagascar, Ivory Coast, Nepal, some weeks ago. This maybe need to happen in St. Kitts and Nevis to break our system. We the people need to make a resounding statement to these corrupted politicians.
Okay.
We can do it only if we unite. And I'll leave it there, Patches. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you for your contribution as always. And Very pointed.
That's
Caller?
it. That's it.
Thank you for holding. Yes, caller. That sounds like the Major.
Yes.
I've heard the Major for some time.
I rest in this, man. I rest in this. But I was just first here lying down here, but I heard your voice. What I want to ask you, you did geometry? You did geometry school, right?
Well, of course we did geometry, yes. You had to buy a geometry set, remember?
What are you about geometry? What is a straight line? A straight line is a line, is moving from one point to the other, and it is 180 degrees. So apparently, what has happened, how it sounds like this is a two-point system, the Prime Minister and his wife. Because you have to listen to him, he said, he don't care what happens. He don't care what happens. Because when he go home, he still his business is bad up. So you could say what you like.
Yes.
So therefore, maybe you have to move it from a straight line to a reflex angle. A reflex angle. Because, I mean, me and you saying one thing, but he's saying, why you saying that you could talk where like, are you straighter than a pen? I'm 180 degrees. That's what he's saying to us. You don't care what happens. You could talk where you like. He said, you could say what you like, I can say. You could say what you like, and I can say what I like. Isn't it? You heard that, isn't it?
Oh, yes. See,
I mean, I consider that in arrogance as a leader. Yes. I mean, he don't want nobody to vote with him. Because even when they ask the question about him, and you hear him shout, no. He said no. He ain't saying no, he said he believes that the eyes have it. How that sound? I mean, come on, you're talking to sensible people, man. You can't treat people.
So like he got in wax.
Well, he said, and he was on top, he had the podium, and they seen him in the kitchen. And he had it, no, and he could say, no, I will let his eyes say, the eyes have it, so I want to reach eye. It's fine. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't understand. I must study this style. Yeah. And my mother and father is from Nevis. And I know there was intelligent people, and if there was a life today, I'm sure there will be on the captain right now about it. I mean, people can be so quiet, and you don't treat people as a leader. Huh?
True.
I mean, he's a single leader. We have this leader. We have no. Because people say he don't care. That means he don't care about the people. He wants to vote for them again. Isn't it?
No, of course.
No, you don't be like that to people, man. I mean, if you have a system, let us cooperate. Let us have some kind of problem. These do people say, well, X, Y, Z are happening. And I mean, personally, I'm only the leader. And you are bringing all your things to me. And let me take what could analyze and pass it. Because that's why we see the finite verb there. You know what is the finite verb? If you're doing English, you got to know the finite verb. And you got to know the clause, because everything is at adjectival clause. I mean, adjective describe, so therefore that's why he's describing, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Sutton will be proud of you, Major. Mr. Doe. Mr. Doe will be proud of you. Really do.
Yeah. Yes, of course. That was the best you can do. And if you was alive, you're going to be able to say something.
Yes.
Then at the adjectival clause, and he described it, you don't give it down. That's what I tell you, I don't give it down. You can say what you like, I can say what I like. Isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Thanks a lot, Major.
You will see what happens.
Thanks a lot, Major.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to advise those who may not have known that it does not matter to me one jot what people say. It doesn't matter. What you have to say about me and your opinion of me, that no matter. You understand? Because when I go home, it is the opinions there that matter to me most. I live by me. You live by you. So you worry about who home by you, whether them like you or not. And I can worry about who home by me.
I wonder if he's living in the mansion. on his silk. Perhaps he needs to live in a hut. He'll understand.
I have one home, Nevis. Nevis. And I never imagined that in my life that I will be faced with the possibility that I will become, in my lifetime, a minority on Nevis. That is serious business. So while we are here pontificating about all these wonderful projects and jobs, I would prefer to live in a hut as a free man than in a mansion as a slave.
I'm sure many of us would choose that preference because dignity cannot coexist with bondage. The free man in the hut may sleep on grass or straw, but his dreams are his own. Whereas the slave in the mansion may rest on silk, but his sleep belongs to his master. Think about it, my Shidduch family, as we conclude tonight's programming. Nevis has just over 13,000 people, and their plan is to bring 10,000 new citizens. But aren't these 10,000 new citizens going to bring their children, their spouse, their wives? So let's make that 40,000 people on the basis of a spouse and 2 kids. Do you hear me, my Straight Dog family? 10,000 equals to 40,000. That means the Afro-Caribbean people of Nevis and St. Kitts is next if you allow this to go by. The very foundation of this island would become the minority in their own homeland. That, my friends, is not development. That is displacement. And what makes it worse? They tell us nothing. No one knows the cost. No one knows the source of funds. No one knows when it starts or when it ends. Billions are whispered in back rooms, and we are expected to smile and clap while they auction off our heritage. My people, this is our wake-up call. We must not allow them to play with our destiny like a game of chance. Do not let the Premier, Mark Brantley, and his wife, Sharon Momma Brantley, turn Nevis into their personal real estate empire. Let Mark go home to Momma Brantley, where he says it matters. But we must rise. Rise for accountability. Rise for transparency. Rise for the protection of division and division land and division pride. And if Mark Brantley asks this question 1 billion times, standing shoulder to shoulder, my Straight Dog family, let's make sure we all shout the same answer, loud and clear.
The project that is proposed is what we are talking about. Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we are talking about, right? So that's where we are. So it sounds to my ear that the eyes have it. That's what it sounds like. The eyes have it.
Well, the nose have it. Say no to corruption. Say no to deception. No. Hell no to this so-called Destiny Project. Demand that the SEZ Act be repealed. My straight dog family, I'm going to guide you by the rules of brevity. Can you use 10 seconds, my brother?
Yes, Patches. Let me get back in real quick, man. Yeah, that no remind me of when the entertainers go to the Apollo and they don't perform good. You know what that do? You know what happened? They get booed.
Clap down, yes. Boo.
Boo. Patches, the leader of the NRP, wrote to the AG a letter about the constitutionality of that SSC law. I heard her said that Tuesday night in another podcast. She says she hasn't got a reply up to now. And also, there's an important case inside the court in Nevis against the premier, and no judge. It seems like they want to pick up that case and advance the case forward. Our judicial system is corrupted as well. And that's my last contribution for the night. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. It reminds me of a project in South Africa in Orania, my straight dog family.
Hidden deep in the northern Cape of South Africa is a controversial town like no other. A place that has no black residents, where only white Afrikaners call home, and it has been in existence since 1991, even after the feared apartheid regime that segregated black South Africans.
Orania is a whites-only town. Black people cannot live or work here. Every job is reserved for the whites.
Do I believe that places like Orania should exist? No. Do I believe that Orania is racist? Of course.
The white Afrikaners only community of Orania got their own currency, their own flag, their own government, and make their own policies.
In school, they teach their own language and they generate their own electricity. Typical of any city, right?
Right here in Orania, we have our own private security company where we provide security for Orania.
And of course, we have our own airstrip here in Orania.
In Orania, we're building a city, so we have our own construction company.
And only hire white Afrikaners workforce.
Have you ever sold property to anyone who is not African speaking?
No.
If I have money, how much you sell? If I have money, you think I can buy?
Yeah.
Because I am not African.
It seems the long-term goal is to cut off from South Africa to build a white-only country.
And my straight dog family, as we conclude, I'm happy, as I said earlier, that the Nevis Conservation and Heritage Society has written to the Nevis Historical Conservation Society, that's his right name. And I'm happy that they have raised their concerns as well. I'm happy as well that the majority of divisions have spoken. You have answered Mark Brantley. He wants to turn your nays into eyes.
The project that is proposed is what we are talking about. Do we want this project that is proposed on the South Coast? That is what we are talking about, right? So that's where we are. So
you said it loud and clear, my straight dog family. You have spoken, divisions, the majority. I have answered Mark Brantley with the utmost clarity. So let your actions speak louder than your words and boycott this new Destiny movie produced by Mark and Momma Brantley. That's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I just want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the viewers, those who called, those who sent emails. In the process, I must apologize for that technical glitch we had. We had a break in transmission. Thank you for staying along with me nonetheless. And my dog family, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Some may go to church. Some may go to the beach. Some may just do the chores. But whatever you do, let's do it in moderation. I go to church, God's willing, on Sunday. Zion Raven Church. You can make that your church if you don't have one. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. My Straight Talk family, keep moving on.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. Down on my knees to the Lord I kneel and pray, with my heart and soul, beg Him to take me through each day. My guardian to keep and my guide, over every step I take, He will preside. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. My way with strength and courage from above. No man I'll fear, since God protects me with His love. Strong, pure and true, and so sincere, 'cause my knees I'll always stay to the Lord in prayer. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, I gotta reach the top somehow.